Okay guys, here we have a how to do video on how to program the Viper remote control to your receiver. That'll be that right there, or the new design control board with the integrated receiver right there. So basically this is your old style remote control right there, and then this is your new style remote control right there. Alright, so let's go ahead and pull this out of the way here for now, and let's go ahead and pull that out of the way for now. This is your old style remote control, and basically how you program these guys is you got a little screw right there, which I already pulled out. Once you pull that screw out, it's a Phillips screw. You pull that cover off just like that. You got your battery. That's a 12-volt battery. Pull that, and there's your electronics for the remote control. If you notice, it's got a little board here. They call it a dip switch board, and it's got a bunch of little switches that go up and down across the board there. This is how pretty much you set your remote control to your receiver, or yeah, to any receiver for that matter. So basically what it is, what you have to do is you have to match the little switches here to the one on the receiver. If you notice, it's kind of the same type of dip switch board. They might be different in some cases, but in this case here they're pretty much the same. And it basically, let me see if I can get a closer look here. There you go. So yeah, so you just basically match it. So in this case, if you notice, the one on the receiver it's got all the little switches down. So you were set the remote control the same way. That's just, you know, one setup. You can do it however you want to do it, as long as they both match. That's the important part. Also, a little note as to the receiver and remote is this receiver has a 3-position dip switch. What that means is, if you notice, like the number 8 over here, it's got the dip switch in the middle, and then the next one over has got it all the way down to the bottom, and then like this one over here has got it all the way down to the top. So you got a top, middle, and bottom. So you have to make sure you get that right. Otherwise, if you don't match them up correctly, they're not going to work. Or they're not going to, work together. So in this case, you got them all down on the receiver. You basically make it easy. You put them all down on the remote, and that's the way you do it. So you got pretty much all of them down like that, and then once you've done that, battery goes in, receiver gets plugged in. You should get it to work. All right, and that's for that. For the new remote control, this one right here, it's got a little screw on there, a Phillips screw on there as well. That one there, what you just basically do is, this one's a little bit tighter, is a little bit harder to open, because it's weather resistant, so more like a little bit weatherproof or whatever. So what you do is you just pop it open like that, and it comes right out. And then you're gonna find the same dip switch setting right on there, as the older one, as well as the 12-volt battery on there. So that's pretty much that, set the same way. Now on the control board, the Viper VGS control board, which is this guy right here, it's got an integrated receiver right there. The cool thing about this board is you don't have to open up these remotes if you have one of these receivers integrated on the board. The reason for that is you got a push button. This is your programming push button. So how this operates is, turn on your board, power light is on, you press this one, you got a blue light in there indicating that you just pressed the programming button. So I took too long, but anyway, you got to make sure you press the button on the remote, before the blue light turns off. That way it picks up the code on the remote control. But before we do that, I wanted to explain a little bit on the channels here. So on the channels, on the dip switch settings here, you got a number 1 channel, that will be your number 7, and number 2 channel, that will be number 8. So basically, kind of like looking at the remote control, blue channel will be number 8, yellow channel will be number 7. So the idea is basically, once you program the remote control to the board, you have to make sure, if you want the yellow button to work, you have to make sure number 7 is up. If you want the blue button to work, you want to make sure number 8 is up. That way your blue button works. Alright, so going back to the programming, hit that, the blue light turns on, and there you go. For a minute there, I'm like, okay, this thing's not going to work. Alright, so you got it programmed. 8 on, remote control, blue button, and there you go. You got it working. And that's pretty much programmed to your control board. If you want the yellow one to work, flip that switch down, open the other one, and then now the yellow one works. Now if you were to hit the blue one, nothing happens, as you can tell. You got the yellow one, that works. Okay, so that pretty much tells you how to program that Viper remote control to either your control board or to your receiver board on the Viper gate opener.